Al-Shura launches Syrian Development Fund, raising $60 million. Syrian President Ahmed al-Shura announced the launch of the Syrian Development Fund for the country's reconstruction. Donations exceeded $60 million within the first hour of the launch ceremony held at Damascus Citadel. Al-Shura pledged that the fund would maintain complete transparency in spending resources on strategic projects for rebuilding the infrastructure destroyed by the previous regime. Islamic Sharia arbitration ruling in Austria sparks outrage among European far-right. The Vienna Civil Rights Court's recognition of an Islamic Sharia arbitration ruling in a €320,000 financial dispute between two Muslim men has drawn harsh criticism from Austrian and European far-right groups. The far-right characterized the decision as a threat to secular identity and Islamization of society. However, legal experts emphasize that private arbitration is legally acceptable as long as it does not conflict with fundamental principles of the legal system. Genoa port workers threaten strike over Gaza flotilla. Dozens of ships and boats within the Global Resistance Fleet continue their voyage from Barcelona and Sicily ports toward Gaza. The mission, involving activists from 44 countries, carries 250 tons of aid supplies aimed at breaking the naval blockade. Italian Genoa port workers announced they would stage a general strike across all Italian ports if any of the participants are arrested. The flotilla is expected to reach Gaza in mid-September. Gold hits new record highs above $3,600 per ounce on Fed rate cut expectations. Gold recorded new record levels surpassing $3,600 per ounce, driven by investor expectations that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates at its upcoming meeting. President Trump continues to pressure the central bank, demanding an extremely serious reduction in interest rates. Gold thrives in low-interest environments as it serves as a store of value. Israeli army controls 40% of Gaza City and intensifies bombardment of the Strip. The Israeli army announced it has taken control of 40% of Gaza City and is preparing to fully capture the city in a new offensive. The Palestinian Civil Defense announced that at least 44 Palestinians have been killed since Thursday morning as a result of Israel's intensive air and artillery bombardment of the besieged Strip, including 25 in Gaza City alone. The two-year war continues. Mali takes Algeria to International Court of Justice over downing of reconnaissance drone. Mali's Regional Administration Ministry announced Thursday that the country's transitional government has filed a case against Algeria at the International Court of Justice. Mali accuses its neighboring country of aggression for shooting down a military drone on a reconnaissance mission. Algeria had announced last year on April 1st that it shot down an armed drone that violated its airspace near the border town of Tin Zawat. Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. Does it signals a new world order led by China and Russia? Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin delivered sharp criticism of the West at the opening of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit held in Tianjin, northern China. She called for rejecting Cold War mentality and avoiding intimidation policies in an indirect reference to America, while Putin blamed the West for the war in Ukraine. More than 20 world leaders attended the meeting, which is the organization's largest summit since its founding in 2001. The summit aims to position Beijing at the center of regional relations and establish a multipolar world order. Scotland cuts support to arms companies collaborating with Israel over genocide allegations. Scottish First Minister John Swinney announced they have stopped providing public funds to arms companies that supply products or services to Israel. Swinney stated that any defense company seeking government support must prove it has no military connections with Israel, claiming there is reasonable evidence that genocide is being committed. He also called on the British government to review its obligations under international law and withdraw from agreements with Israel. Afghanistan hit by new 6.2 magnitude earthquake. Cunner earthquake casualties exceed 2,200. A new 6.2 magnitude earthquake struck eastern Afghanistan near Jalalabad on Thursday, with no immediate casualties reported. This earthquake followed the devastating quake that destroyed 7,000 homes in Kunar, Lagman, and Nangarhar provinces just days earlier, becoming the deadliest earthquake in Afghanistan's modern history. The death toll has risen to 2,205 and the injured to 3,640. While thousands of homeless families await aid in the rain, the World Health Organization warned that hopes of finding survivors are diminishing. Several countries have decided to send emergency assistance, tightening digital surveillance. Russia imposes new internet restrictions. France bans messaging apps. Digital restrictions have increased worldwide. Russia enacted new laws aimed at gradually shutting down the internet, imposing fines for searching extremist materials, banning VPN service advertisements, and mandating the use of state-approved applications on smartphones. Meanwhile, the French government banned public employees from using messaging applications such as WhatsApp and Telegram, citing security concerns, and required them to use the local chat application developed by government agencies to ensure secure communication among employees.